Chapter 14. Smearing the mirror with well water. For 2 weeks after that night, I kept replaying the sensation on my lips in my mind. After careful thought, I narrowed it down to 3 possibilities. Option A. After covering my eyes, she picked up some unknown object from the ground and wiped it on my mouth. Option B. She spat on her fingers and rubbed them against my lips. Option C. She kissed me. After careful calculation, the odds for option A stood at roughly 5%, as there was nothing on the ground for her to pick up. Option B came in at 13%, yet it made no sense at all. With the mood that night, she would never act so foolishly. That left option C with a probability of over 85%. She had indeed kissed me. Heaven knows, aside from my mother, she was the first girl to ever kiss me. Don't laugh, I'm willing to bet 98% of people share their first kiss with their mother. Even so, Du Feiyu returned to her usual cold self afterward, acting distant and indifferent toward me. I never dared ask her about that night, yet I noticed she smiled at me more and more often as the days passed. That alone was enough to strengthen my resolve to go to Harbin. Cramming for the exams at the last minute was clearly impossible. With my poor memory, catching up on an entire year's worth of lessons was nothing but a fool's dream. Still, every creature has its own way to survive. I decided to take an unconventional path. After all, I was the only known inheritor of the 3 purity scriptures, a cultivator of the Tao. My current level of cultivation should be enough to call upon Uncle Nine for help. The 15th day of the lunar month was only 2 days away, the perfect time. I needed to prepare well. I bought a cool, small cosmetic mirror from the supermarket, frosted on the back with a skull pattern on the front, exactly my style. Back home, since we lived in a single-story house, the old hand-operated well in the yard still worked. I filled a glass soda bottle with well water. Everything was ready, waiting only for the full moon in 2 days. The 15th night arrived, bright with a perfect full moon hanging high in the sky. I muttered a line straight out of a wuxia novel as I stared up at it. It was nearly 1 in the morning, the hour of the ox drawing near, and my family were all sound asleep. Carrying the soda bottle and the mirror, I slipped quietly outside and found a secluded spot in the alley. This will do. Uncle Nine, please answer my call. You're my only hope now. I opened the mirror and wrote Uncle Nine's name and birth 8 characters on its back. Then I focused all my concentration. After months of practice, I could now sense the vital energy flowing all around me with a clear mind. It sounded mystical, yet it was true. The human body holds countless hidden secrets. I'll share a simple trick anyone can try. Hold out your right palm, stare intently at it, and focus all your attention there. Soon enough, your palm will grow warm. Some dismiss it as mere psychological suggestion, yet it is strangely real. Give it a go if you're curious. Once my mind was fully centered, I began gathering the surrounding vital energy toward the mirror. I poured the well water over the glass surface, spread it evenly with my finger, and whispered softly, Wei Feng Jiao, Wei Feng Jiao, Wei Feng Jiao. Please work. My entire future depends on this. I prayed silently. Slowly, the reflection in the mirror turned blurry and cloudy, yet Uncle Nine's figure never appeared. Damn it, was this ritual useless? Or was my cultivation still too shallow? Perhaps I was missing a crucial step. Just as my patience wore thin, faint wisps of visible spiritual energy rose from the mirror's surface. My heart leaped with joy. It was working. I called out gently, Master, are you there? The mirror remained fogged, yet Uncle Nine's voice echoed out clearly. Xiao, Fei, have you kept up with your cultivation these days? It worked. Overjoyed to hear his long-lost voice, I replied at once, Of course I have, Master. I've missed you terribly. How are you in the afterlife? Why can't I see you? His voice crackled with static, oddly enough, reminding me of a shoddy local telecom service. Uncle Nine let out a low huff. I am faring well here, and I even hold an official post as a ghost messenger. Do not worry over me. You cannot see me because you have neglected your practice. You would not summon me merely out of longing. Speak your true purpose at once. That old fox saw right through every lie. I told him about the upcoming exam that would decide my entire future, begging him for a helpful talisman. Uncle Nine grew stern in an instant. Shameful. You refuse to work hard on your own, yet seek shortcuts with talismans? Let me make this clear. Talismans are meant to aid the worthy, not to cheat and cut corners. I refuse. Absolutely refuse. He was furious, but I had a plan. I immediately put on a sorrowful, tearful tone. Master, forgive your unfilial disciple. Forget I asked, but if I fail this exam, I'll be left with nothing, forced to beg for a living. My soul was damaged after returning to the mortal realm, and I can no longer memorize a single word. I know my request is unreasonable, yet my elderly grandmother relies on me to support our whole family. He would never know about modern TV shows and underhanded tactics. This reverse psychology was my best move, shifting the focus to my damaged memory from my near-death experience. There was no way this old-timer from a bygone era would fall for it. Don't judge me for resorting to such tricks against my own master. Uncle Nine and I lived in completely different times. This was simply how I communicated with him. Just as the elderly often fail to understand younger generations, he would be nearly 100 years old if he were alive today, making many modern ideas impossible for him to grasp. Rather than arguing in circles, speaking in ways he could understand was the smarter choice. He was furious, but I had a plan. I immediately put on a sorrowful, tearful tone. Master, forgive your unfilial disciple. Forget I asked, but if I fail this exam, I'll be left with nothing, forced to beg for a living. My soul was damaged after returning to the mortal realm, and I can no longer memorize a single word. I know my request is unreasonable, yet my elderly grandmother relies on me to support our whole family. He would never know about modern TV shows and underhanded tactics. This reverse psychology was my best move, shifting the focus to my damaged memory from my near-death experience. There was no way this old-timer from a bygone era would fall for it. Don't judge me for resorting to such tricks against my own master. Uncle Nine and I lived in completely different times. This was simply how I communicated with him, just as the elderly often fail to understand younger generations. He would be nearly 100 years old if he were alive today, making many modern ideas impossible for him to grasp. Rather than arguing in circles, speaking in ways he could understand was the smarter choice. As expected, silence fell on the other end. That was a good sign. Silence meant he was wavering. It was all a matter of conversation tactics. To put it in online gaming terms everyone understands. In a one-on-one duel, if your silent skill finishes cooldown first and locks your opponent down, they're left helpless and waiting to lose. Silence equals opportunity. Admittedly, that explanation was complete nonsense, but feel free to laugh it off. After roughly 5 minutes, Uncle Nine sighed. Xiao Fei, I shall grant your plea out of sympathy for your filial heart. I know you have no other choice. I will teach you an unorthodox talisman, but this is a one-time favor. Do not ask for such things again. Success. I thanked him profusely. He taught me a type of outer sect talisman, one outside orthodox mystic traditions. It held no great spiritual power, yet served a very specific purpose. The one he gave me was the 16-stroke mind-clearing, strength-converting talisman. As its name suggested, it required no formal talisman head or tail. A Tao practitioner need only recite the incantation and write 16 consecutive mouth characters on yellow paper. Holding this charm while studying would let it absorb all written knowledge. Whenever I needed to recall the information later, I merely had to grip the talisman in my left hand